Hello everybody and a warm welcome to Berringer from me, Susanna, on this Wednesday afternoon. And today is a video response to a couple of questions asked by, I believe it's Graham Carter. I also have a bit of a layout update, and also I have some new additions to show you. So first of all, since we're at the station, I will answer Graham's question, and he was asking me, I believe, if I'm correct, Graham, about the balancing on my station waiting room. And this comes from Ratio, and the code is 516, and it's a station canopy balancing and notice board kit. And it comes with 6 notice boards and apparently 724 millimeters of station canopy balancing. And this is basically how it is painted, but you actually get it, if I show you the actual magazine, it comes like that, in this kind of creamy, kind of yellowy kind of colour. And then basically you just cut it to suit, basically. So that's where I got that from, and I got it from my local model shop. So that's what I've used along here. I've actually still got some left over. Another point that I believe Graham made was the fact that when I did my quick station tour and I was talking about the underground station, that it wasn't shown. So I'm going to show it to you now. And basically it's under the bus station, which is just over there. And if I should take you to my computer, obviously I'm not going to lift this all up, I will show you what it's like underneath. I don't know if you can see that. That is the underground station underneath, and currently, just to demonstrate, my 4VEP is under there. And under there's a webcam and some LEDs. And that will eventually run out towards the B&Q and the fiddle yard, but the platform 4, which is where the VEP is, will actually head back towards past Berringer station and on towards Moorwood and the mini fiddle yard. So hopefully that answers your questions, and if you have any more, please feel free to ask, and I will try and get back to you as best as I can and as quick as I can, and forgive me if I'm a little bit forgetful. Next I wanted to talk to you about this coarse turf by Woodland Scenics, and this is a burnt grass, code number T62. This is what I've been primarily using on my Coffee Hill disused section, and I had a fair amount left over, and so what I was doing is I was dotting a lot of it to improve the layout in general. So I've been using bits and pieces of this turf just on and around, dotted around the layout. So I'll show you some of the places where I've used it, and I think it's like really improved. So I'll just show you that. Some of the places I've used, it's just in and around the signal box, which is along here, and I've also used it along here. And what I've done on this bit here is I've also used a bit of the light green foliage on top of the coarse turf to give it a more representation of bushes. If I sort of show you this one here, it's still very bushy, but there's just this slightly additional layout on the top here, which is the fine leaf, which is kind of like the pull apart stuff that's just been added on the top. And I think that looks better than what it was before, because I don't know if you remember, but before I had some static grass and it looked a bit flat, and so I kind of wanted to make it slightly more overgrown. So I've started using some over here on the approach to the station from the branch line. We're now at the new shot section, and I've also been using the turf along here. Now, as you can see here, this was the original sort of what I was using before, which is just the static grass, which is perfectly fine along here. But again, I found that in places, especially on the back, it was a bit flat. And as you can see, I've just gone along and added the turf here to give it a bit more texture to it, so it doesn't look so flat and so it blends in better. And I've done this all the way along here until it leads up to Offord on the Hill. I've also done the same along the entrance towards the signal box, and I've also gravelled it and the rest of it here as well. So that's also enhanced new shot. And also I've also added a bit of the fine leaf foliage on top of the coarse turf, just to give it that extra bit of depth and yes, height as well. And I think it looks really, really nice. So I've added that as well, because I felt here that it looked a bit bland as well. So I've done that as well. And if we move along, I've also done the same here. And I'll show you the difference, because actually I've got one more bit to do and I haven't actually done it yet, and so I'll show you, which is why I bought the other bag. So if I just show you, that's how you can see it at the moment. But if I show you how it is along here, you can see it has got the static grass on it, but to me it still looks a bit flat. And so just to give it a bit more texture and a bit more depth, I'm going to add some more of this. If I just sort of do a bit of a rewind, do this kind of texture here, you can see, and just to give it a bit of height and a bit of texture and a bit more depth. And I think that will really kind of finish New Shot pretty nicely actually. So here we're going to give you a quick little how-to guide, and I'm just going to show you quickly, it's not going to take you very long, how I add the turf to this bit and add possibly some light foliage to it. Now obviously the bits you're going to need is the coarse turf that I showed you earlier, the burnt grass T82 or the colour of your choice. We've also used, I've been trying zinc cement, which people have been going on about, and so I thought I'd give it a go. Now as you can clearly see on the actual bottle, it says it's spray or brush on adhesive. Personally, I don't like either of those methods. The brush on doesn't seem to go very far, and the spray just doesn't seem to really work for me as far as I can see. I mean, whenever I've tried to use the spray head, it just seems to get clogged up, and in the end it just ends up being frustrating having to keep on cleaning it out. So what I've decided to use, which I found to be a more effective method, was actually this. And this is a pink turkey baster, but you can also use any other colour of your choice. It doesn't have to be pink, it just so happens that mine is pink. I hardly use it, I hardly have turkey, I mean typically once a year, and it was a very cheap thing. And I found that this is a far more effective way of spraying, of soaking the actual grass, as opposed to the brush on or the spray on. It's far more controlled, and it comes out a lot better, and it goes further too. So then what you start doing is you just start putting it on, and then you start spreading it out to where you want it to go. And you can lay it as thickly or as finely as you want, and so that's all you do, and you do that all the way along the length that you want to do until you've come to the end. Okay, so I've now covered all of that, so it all looks nice and fluffy and bushy. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add, I mean it's obviously this is all down to personal choice at the end of the day, but for me I'm just going to add some of this foliage light green F51, and this is kind of like that you tear strips off of it. It's like very, very stretchy. I'll show you that when I take it out. I'll just take a strip out and then I'll show you exactly how it looks. It just kind of fall apart on you. As you can see, it's like this. It's just very, very. It's like a matte type of thing. Now the best way to use it, I find, is if you can pull it apart as best you can. It's kind of really, really fine as opposed to this thick. And I'll show you. You just gently pull it apart and stretch it. And it's I think it's best like this, because I think it's a more realistic approach than just putting it, and it goes further as well. So this is how the foliage looks when you pull it out. Well, it's actually it's actually thicker, but what I've done is I've stretched it, because the thinner you do it, the further it goes and the more realistic I think it looks when you place it on the layout. and all you do is you just place it on the top of the area that you want to put it on. So what I'll do is I'll just drop the camera down, I'll place it, and then I'll raise the camera and show you what it's going to look like once I've done it. So I've now put it on the layout, and you can see that I've kind of pulled it and stretched it, and it all just sort of sits in nicely, and it sort of like seems like it's just added that little bit of extra dimension and extra bit of height to it. And I've just put another little bit just down here as well. You can see there's a slight difference in the colour, which is good because it's nice and subtle. It's not too much. What I'm probably going to do is just put a bit of underbrush just to add a little bit of contrast, and then I'll have to go over it with some scenic cement and then leave it to dry overnight. So that's what I'll do, and I'll show you in just a jiffy. So here we are. I've just added a few bits of underbrush in various, I think this is a medium green or something. It's either a medium or a dark green. I don't think it's more of a medium green because I don't really use dark green too much. And it's just a few bits of underbrush here and there, and that kind of just creates a bit more sort of variety. Again, this is just how I do it. I'm not saying it's the correct way, and it's all just down to personal choice at the end of the day. What you want to do is just sort of like really it's just a guide, and how I do it. Like I said, there isn't no rights or wrongs about it or anything. So it's just that for those of you who haven't used these products before, it's just a rough idea of how to use them and how I personally use them. So I haven't actually soaked the scenic cement over it, but I'm going to do that now and then let that set overnight, and then it should be fine. One of the other things to look out for is my very good friend Peter. He's a professional photographer. He came to visit me today, and he's taken some wonderful shots of Berringer, which was totally unexpected, and I'm really looking forward to having them, and when I get my hands on them they'll be posted up on YouTube and maybe even on my Facebook page. And so please look out for them, because it's really going to make the layout look so much better. Than it's just amazing the camera work that he's done, the photographs he's taken. So please look out for them. So moving over to the new additions. The first is this Rolls Royce, which I come across my local model shop today. I didn't even realise it was out, but it suits my era lovely, and it's a beautiful vehicle. And I'm really happy with it actually. I didn't even know it was out, and it looks absolutely beautiful. And it's an Oxford die-cast Rolls Royce. Just spin it around for you. I haven't actually unscrewed it from its base yet, so that's what it looks like from the back. Actually, Graham, it probably look quite nice on your manor house. That'll be quite fancy for you. So I think that'll look quite nice. Also, this Ford console, I think it's what they call it. I remember this one as a kid. I always used to like the lights on the back. I always used to think they looked quite funky at the time. So that's another vehicle for my layout. And the main addition is yet another 37 from Vi Trains, and this is also under the bargainous price, and it just had to be done. I've been eyeing up this one for a while as well, so I've ended up with 3 in quick succession, even though it was completely unexpected. This is 37403, and as you can see, it's in the Speedlink livery, and I think it's actually a Scottish one, but hey ho, I don't mind. I mean, it's a Speedlink one. I'm going to end up using it for my China clay, and it's called Glendarroch. If I've pronounced it correctly, forgive me for those of you who may be Scottish and cursing the screen because I've pronounced it incorrectly. I think that's what it's called, Glendarroch. And she's a beautiful loco. Like I said, she's in the Speedlink distribution livery, and she's going to be used for my China clay stuff as well as my 25 and maybe my other 37s even. So I'm very pleased with everything that's gone on, and thanks for watching. Please feel free to comment and subscribe, and I hope that this has answered all your questions, Graham, and if anyone else has got any questions that they want answering or would like to know, please feel free, and if I can get back to you and I remember to do it, I shall do. And forgive me if you do ask and I forget. I'm not always the best at remembering. So bye for now and take care.